MakingStarWars.net.
Hello there, Dale Erdman. YouTube.com. All hell Lambhead. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And today I'm with Rob. He's eating his Crunch Wrap Supreme, maybe, I think, in 1990.
Look, I lose a pound a week, but I just nullify it with Taco Bell. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Never give it up. Can't
Nice.
do it.
No, you know what?
I like 97's Taco Bell.
Yeah.
The big shapes. Yeah. I don't know why. I didn't like it then, but I like it now. Must be getting older.
If you use the Taco Bell app and you use the black bean that they have there, you could kind of eat healthy at Taco Bell. Not healthy, but fast food healthy. You could make
you
it
can
work.
Get gout from black beans, so careful.
You can get gout from black beans.
Legumes. Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I thought you only got gout if you drank all the time or something.
Nope, cashews too.
One time,
I get my friends who went vegan and they've been eating a lot of chickpeas, and then they got the gout. I was like, I got it from chickpeas.
One time I was at a party and I started talking to a lady. It was going pretty well, and then she's like, I'm psychic, and I'm like, so I go into full Ghostbusters 2 Bill Murray mode because she was hot, but then she started to lose me when she says, "I sense you have gout." I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
She's like looking you up and down. I sense you have gout.
Yeah, I'm like, just say I'm fat. Thanks. No.
I sense your BMI. Shut up.
Yeah, chances are you got gout. But yeah. So today we're gonna be talking about the end of Kenobi. There will be spoilers, so if you've never watched the show before, welcome, but there will be spoilers, so bye, I guess. I hope you stay. And I cannot go too far. We're at the finish line. I promised somebody I wouldn't go too far. Okay, I promise. So we're at the finish line, so I'm not going to get crazy, but I do feel a need when controversies arise that I didn't foresee coming out of the spoiler reports that I had. And so I know somebody who has seen the final episode. And yeah, so they messaged me on, let's just say recently. Hey, Blake just says $1.99. Thank you, Blake. But I'll treat your next message as a super chat, I think. Thank you, dude.
I'm going to start doing my super chats at 99 cents. That fucking Blake, you genius.
Just one word at a time.
Never thought about it. So good.
So let's just say recently, okay? Because I don't want to out anybody or get anybody in trouble or anybody getting that Lucasfilm side eye, But so at the big controversy has been Luke Skywalker at the end with Riva. And can Luke see a lightsaber? From what I heard internally was a big debate and everything like that. And so when they were filming it, I guess they kind of filmed it very upfront, and they filmed a bunch of different kind of ways of doing it, doing this whole thing with one version. Luke is sort of chased around by Riva, kind of is sort of cornered by her, and sort of like a horror film kind of thing, I guess. I might be putting that emphasis there, so don't run with that if anybody's it gets crazy about it. But it's so anyways. It appears that in the version that we will see on Disney Plus, Luke Skywalker is going to get confronted by Riva. Riva is going to be on the verge of killing Luke, but Luke will not see the lightsaber. So I was told, I was like, first message I got about it was from a certain point of view. So it does happen, but they had decided, I guess, to protect that. I don't know if you call it a misconception, assumption, whatever you want. I think that they just figured that it was going to be a big problem. So so Luke will likely not know that there's a lightsaber there. So I think it's shot in a way. And that now this is me speculating because I was told that I learned about, I'm not supposed to spoil from this source. They just said, don't do it. I'll tell you so you know. But I am speculating that what it's going to be. Rob,
what?
Not a member, but hyperstream. Oh, thanks, Roland.
Oh, thanks, Roland.
Thank you, Ducky. I appreciate the support, you guys. It means a lot. And Rob is a fake ass fan. No, but so I think it's going to be the kind of situation where Luke is finally is sort of like cornered. However you want to look at this, and she's going to have the sword out of frame, and he's not going to. From his point of view, he's not going to be able to see it, but we are. So we're going to see Riva with the lightsaber ready to take the kid out. And then
I wonder if the door is closed and then they homage that Close Encounters with the lights coming under the door, you know?
Yeah.
And little kids like, woo.
That could be cool. Yeah, but and then the other thing I wanted to add, I just lost my train of thought. There was something I wanted to add about that. Oh yeah, Riva. Why is Riva doing it? Right now, according to somebody who's seen it, they saw it one time. As far as I know, they only saw it one time. Why Riva goes right now, you probably have as good of an interpretation as anybody else. So my interpretation is that Riva just got smacked around by Darth Vader and she's pretty pissed off about it, right? And she realizes that that's the son of Vader, and she's going to go and get him. He took her family. He's going to make sure he doesn't get one, that he can never get one. I think, and maybe she's pissed at Kenobi too. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's really atonement there yet between them. But I think Obi-Wan's question of, are you going to let him do it again? And then her going to do what he did, I think is when she's going to have the revelation that she's becoming the fucking asshole that she set out to stop. And then I think we'll probably exit the show. I don't know if she exits she exits the narrative with atonement or in distress, just like, I don't, what do I do now? What am I? So I think it could be very good. But I know a lot of people were like fine with the concept, but then weren't fine with the idea of Luke seeing the saber. So I figured as good news, because for those people that just could not accept that Luke could see a lightsaber, it's off the table, it sounds like. So I guess that's good news, right? I mean, overall, to me, it's the same story. To me, the story stays the same. Nothing changes there. So I'm okay with it, personally. And but we'll have to see. And yeah, so let me know what you guys are thinking today, like about that. And I like I said, I can't go too far. Made promises. Thank you for. Oh yeah, Megan and Santa are S&M, so that's what we're gonna call them from now on. And thank you, Santa. I appreciate it. Howdy, Will.
This face got me into so much trouble in the army, my friend. You have no idea. I cannot maintain bearing.
Oh man, but and then another thing I wanted to throw out there, without going too far. Source, I promise I won't go too far. Source, I promise. I'm gonna just say this one thing because it ties into what O'Shea Jackson Jr. was saying. Rokin is going to have a pretty good FU moment. I'm doing it my way. We'll call it the my way Rokin moment, and sounds badass. I think it's gonna be good.
I was rewatching Ghost Protocol last night, and at the end there's a scene where Ving Rhames is walking off he's sitting at the table with Ethan, and he gets up and walks out, right? And Ethan goes, "Hey man, I got the change." And the line in the script, I know the script just says "I know" for Ving Rhames, but he has his hand in his pocket and he stops and he pulls up the "I know." And I'm like, that was such a Ving Rhames moment, right? Like, and I imagine Rokin, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like him, man. I like him.
I walked past Ving Rhames one time. I was like getting beer at UFC, and he's like walking, and he looks at me, so I was like, and all these people were talking to him, and he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey, I'm a pretty good fight, right?" And he was just like, It's always a good fight. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna leave this interaction either good enough.
So fucking cool.
Yeah,
he's the epitome. Ving Rhames is the epitome of cool. If you want to know what I think cool is Ving Rhames. Like,
yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's never not cool.
But yeah, I think that Rokin moment is going to be cool, and I don't know for certain, but like I said, I swear to God, brother, those are partisans in the 5th episode and in the 6th episode. So I think maybe that moment with Rokin may tie into that, like, oh, they just became militarized, or they just you know what I mean? They just became a sect of the rebellion and not just a humanitarian effort. Because if you recall, during the spoiler lineage of things, there was like 2 kind of competing and true narratives going on. One was that they were a humanitarian effort, and the other was that they were the partisans. And I think it turns out that they are one and the same. It just, we haven't quite evolved into where it all goes, which is full on batshit military stuff. And I'm gonna guess that a lot of the good ones will be assimilated into Bail Organa's concept, and then maybe the people who aren't going to take it anymore are the ones who become more of the Saw Gerrera side.
That song in my head, damn you!
I know, man. That song was always like the fucking like stupidest but raddest like dumb rebellion song ever. But it's been co-opted by so many idiots in the world that I'm just like.
But for me, it's Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Iron Eagle. So what do you want me to do? I can't let them take those 2 away from me. You know?
I'm with you.
Can't do it.
Yeah. At the end, Riva wakes up and it's the day before Order 66, and she's all, "It was all a dream. I should leave." And then she leaves, and none of it happens. That would be good though. But yeah,
Bob Newhart. Oh no!
Mm-hmm.
What will Candace Bergen think? Ho 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 ho!
This is my brother Dak, my other brother Dak, and my other brother Dak. Yeah, and once again, thank you, Roland. Dale says, "I'm not sure Luke has never seen a lightsaber. He just doesn't know what it is or what it does." Yeah, that's they had the liberty of doing it that way. I think they just realized, or were maybe smart enough just to realize that some people would never see past their previously held idea. Maybe
I always say on a project, pick the arguments you're willing to get into. And if you're not willing to get in that argument, just don't do it. It's not worth the trouble.
Right.
You know,
Star Wars in Game became a YouTube member. Thank you, Star Wars in Game. Happy to have you aboard, dude. And I appreciate the support.
Is that like when you get hit in the game? I don't remember that scene. That's funny. In game. I like it.
The second best S&M Star Wars show on YouTube. There's an S&M Star Wars show? Because I would subscribe to that. I'm weird. Star Wars in Game says, "Made the plunge." Thank you. Dell. Oh man, Dell. Oh, what are you doing, Mr. Johnny? Thank you.
Did someone say Putin? Oh, Santa's gassy. And having some of that black beans.
Willow.
Oh, Willow sucks.
Maybe later.
To be fair, they're aware, which is why they made the best Disney Plus Day trailer.
That trailer was pretty good though, man. The actual trailer.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying they know the not that it sucks, but that the impression is that it's corny as shit.
Yeah.
By the way, a strong theme sells a trailer. And when that Willow theme plays, I'm like, I know this.
That theme is good. Yeah,
it's good.
No, that theme is up there with Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Back to the Future for me, and Batman. It makes the top 10 of the.
I'm a
golden age.
Big theme guy.
Yeah,
big theme guy.
But Willow, I do fear, like, when we on the Star Wars television shows, there are those moments when it does feel like TV really heavily, and we clearly don't have Val Kilmer in this. And I do go at times, I'm like, there's a chance it might not be for me when all this, you know what I mean? I might watch it and be like, okay, this is fun. I could hang with it, but it's not for me. Not really.
He made the first movie.
Mm-hmm. So it's you know, but the trailer, I'm more confident in it with the trailer than I was before I saw it. So, but did Johnny watch Willow, or did he just want to be mean to little Warwick?
He's like, it's no Aragorn. It's no Rain of Fire.
It's no.
It's no Legends of Dragoon.
Oh shit!
All right, buddy, chill out with that.
God, somebody I used to be with was into that Merlin show, man, and I had to watch every fucking episode. And then at the end, Merlin, it's like you're like, well, what's the end? And then it's like Merlin, and he's like hitchhiking on the street, and a diesel truck drives by, and like, he's still at it. And I was like, fuck this show, fuck this relationship. Fuck the whole thing.
You're
Willow
for
life.
Called Merlin.
Like, Star Wars in game.
There is so much anime available to you. Just don't. So much good content. Why? Why would you do that? Yeah. Merlin.
I'll be honest. I like my Merlin short. Baymax says the real question is, who at Lucasfilm thought it was fine to have Vader push a saber right through her? Oh, and it's just a flesh wound and she can walk off. Vader should have chopped her hands off. So here's two little things I can confirm the intent of. Some people will say no shit. Some people were questioning it. So I'm going to throw it. Riva is supposed to have a wound. She is supposed to still suffer from the initial wound in Order 66. In Order 66, Vader does stab Riva. That does happen when she's a child. And when when the fifth brother grabs her with the Force and holds her over after he puts her down, after she gets out of it, she's holding her side because that's where she got stabbed originally, and it still hurts. It's still painful.
I just wish that was clear in that first scene.
Yeah.
There's no need to hide it. It just makes this weird. You're thinking about all this. How does this? I shouldn't be thinking. I should be hyped for just what's gonna happen. Is she gonna kill Luke? We know she's not, but
yeah,
it's gonna be.
But what if that's a clone Luke? What if that's Luke? Later on. I'm just saying
maybe that Luke becomes BB-8 and then Lola becomes Luke.
That's possible. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. But Blake says, meant to both super chat and say something, but had no idea how to. Oh, thanks, Blake. And well, I'll try again. Thanks for all you do, guys. Stoked for episode 6. Me too. And here's the question, or the thing I want to say about the last episode is, I think if you're one of those people that's just Darth Vader doing cool shit, that's what I want, that's why I'm here, then I think the 6th episode is going to be good. But I feel like the stride of the series was in episode 5. I feel like if 5 fundamentally doesn't work for you on a story level, I don't think 6 is necessarily gonna do any more for you. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I wish it was the other way around. That's just my vibe on the whole thing. But I feel like when you really get down to it, the story sort of peaks, and then you have the fight, Rokin going his own way, Qui-Gon, and then Obi-Wan settling back in. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And so I think in a way, part of 6 and 5 are kind of the crescendo together. But if you were watching that last episode and you weren't really in love with it, I don't know if it's going to happen for you at this point. But man, I watched the whole thing again while I was playing Fortnite. I just put it on my iPad playing Fortnite. No, and I was just there was so many little things that are just character moments, I think, and maybe I'm reading into it too hard. Maybe I'll say maybe it's not there and I'm putting it there, but there's just aspects of with Obi-Wan and Haja, right? He doesn't trust Haja at the beginning, and it leads to a really big blunder by Kenobi. By the time you get to this point in the story, he literally gives him all of his possessions. But there's just like a character moment that I love is when Haja is like, like basically, like, I know what it's like to be a Jedi now because I'm like on the run. Like he's trying to be cool, even to Kenobi, who was like the real thing. And then he's like, I'm not a babysitter. And it's fucking funny because the real Jedi is a fucking babysitter. Like that's what a real Jedi is doing. And like Haja, has no interest in really being a fucking like a Jedi or isn't one. Literally is like rejecting the one thing that he actually has to like do. And then but there's just like, and then like the stuff with Tala where they, like I said before, they were both arms of the state. They both helped the state become a monster, and then they both reject it and have to give their like lives for it. Like there's all of these little components of Kenobi throughout the core cast. And I don't know, I appreciate it, and like I appreciate the ensemble of characters that they put together for it. I'm happy that they exist. I can't say the same for, I don't want to pick on Boba Fett. I won't do it anymore today, but I can't say the same for Book of Boba Fett. There's no new character in Book of Boba Fett where I'm like, thank you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, where I'm like, I'm glad that was willed into existence from the ether. I don't feel that, but I feel that with
Space Lizard.
Okay. Space Lizard aside.
I'm being dead serious. I'm not even joking.
Oh, sure.
The fact that that's canon fucking makes me so happy. Like
the fact that you think Space Lizard's a character though says a lot. No, I'm
it's
joking.
A character.
I'm joking.
It's a character. It's a character.
It was one of the more character heavy moments of it, wasn't it? Astro McJeremy says it is good news. Luke needs to stay fairly ignorant of the larger world. Sorry about S&M. Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm with you to the extent that like I think the farm boy innocence, not world weary kind of like stuff needs to be there. Like that is important. You know what I mean? I think that is something that can't be lost. But also like, I think living on Tatooine, he's probably had his ass kicked a few times, even if Obi-Wan was there. That's just my take. Like it's a rough
he was getting
place.
the shit kicked out of himself by a Tusken Raider for quite a few minutes before Obi-Wan showed up. So
yeah, and scares him away. Yeah. So it's like, so I think he's farm tough, but he's not a city boy, and the city is obviously the rest of the galaxy. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it comes down to. And that's even like exemplified like at the end of the movie when he's like wearing Han's clothes, or he has like the black shirt on with the yellow jacket, as opposed to looking like he was in an Akira Kurosawa fan club meeting 10 minutes before. It's like
what I want to know is when does Luke go to the pod races? Like,
right? Yeah.
He's doing pod race moves. T-16s don't fly like this.
I'm guessing he had to watch it on an iPad. I don't think Uncle Owen took him.
Uncle Owen does not have an iPad. That
you know what though?
Homeschooling, no D&D kind of guy.
Once a year though, I think Uncle Owen would take you to see like Truckzilla, the equivalent. I think he would do it.
Something sort of filled with possibly racist people, but it's still Americana, right?
one last thing, because I know that people cared and it came up a few times, and I wanted to, and once again, I won't get into to what is said, because like I said, I'm respecting the source, but I'm just acknowledging this one aspect, and that's Aunt Beru. She has lines. Aunt Beru will speak. They didn't bring Bonnie Peace back or Pice. I don't know if it's Pice or Peace back just to, leave it, just to go, yeah.
Look, you better wash your fucking hands.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to wash my hands. Like, oh shit, I don't think Luke's a washing his hands kind of kid when he comes out the bathroom. Just saying.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I was kind of like, I was like, Aunt Beru, she doesn't really need to be important. She isn't needed. She should be there, but I was like, fuck, man, they got Bonnie back. Like do something with her at least. Like Bell Organa has like 4 or 5 moments. Like I think Beru could get one, and thankfully she will. She will have a nice little. I don't know if I call it a monologue, but let's just call it a Beru-sized monologue.
At the very end, Queen Exposition shows up to give us all the heart and themes of the show.
Yeah.
Wrap it all up. Like, what? All right. Book of Beru, right? Like she's writing it all down in a journal and shit. You're like, where did this come from? Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here.
Oh, Rob,
I'm giving you the ones they bought, Jason. You know. Like,
well, yeah, but these are all channel members, so I'm trying not to skip too much. But I do appreciate the super chats, you guys. I really do. Rob, what does George think about Kenobi?
Well, the stock is up, so right now I like it. You know, yeah. Disney stock it's going up, so we'll see by tomorrow night.
Yeah, what did you call it? White slaver bucks? Your white slaver bucks are on the climb.
Yeah, whatever. Sure, why not? You know, colonial coins, whatever I don't know. You know, whatever gets me a Dole Whip. You know, I really like the Dole Whip.
I like the Dole Whip. Yeah, and then Ned's dead, baby. Ned's dead. I know. Poor Ned. Poor Ned. We never got to hear him speak. I don't think he can.
He load lifted my heart.
Yeah. Baymax says Corey, Still, Aubrey, and Michael are all partisan extras in the last episode. Probably why they quit the spoiler game. I don't know anything about them these days. But I'm happy that they pulled off getting the parts in that. I heard some crosstalk of somebody going, "Oh, they leaked to." Nah, they didn't. You're just fucking being an asshole on Twitter who's jealous that somebody had something good happen to them that they wanted to happen, that they were proactive about and made happen. And your lazy ass on Twitter just wants to sit there crossing your arms going, well, why does anybody pay attention to me when all I want to do is just shame people on Twitter? So suck a dick, eat a dick, choke on a dick, but fuck off. I don't talk to these guys, but good for them. And I'm glad. And the Twitter people fucking suck it. Dell says Ned B, Tala, Wade. Oh, Wade. I know, man. Wade's World. Wade, who came up with that yesterday? That was fucking great.
You did.
No, it wasn't me.
You came up with that. Oh, no, was it you? Someone in the chat?
No, it's somebody in chat. And then I just got the guitar and did Wade's World. But yeah. Love you, Wade.
Yeah, for real. T-17's nice.
His saw's named Hammer.
I like to go pew pew.
His sister Steela, her middle name is Industry. She's still in Industry, and he's Saw Blade.
Beware of the red robe lightsabers.
All right, but I should have made a list, but okay. So we got Luke. We got the Riva encounter without Luke seeing the saber. We got Rokin saying, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out, that whole thing, but do it, his way moment. That's going to be cool. And we got Aunt Beru having lines. So that's, I think, what I intended to bring to the table today. Because, that was what we were kind of talking about going around. So pretty cool. Old Mike Porter, the old man Mike Porter joke of the day. Look at him. I think he's laughing at his joke from Star Wars.
He's got a space lizard on his hat too.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that. Who is it who has the beer like clinking, like the mug? Whenever they say something, I feel like I'm being like cheersed. And that and Mike Porter together, you just be like, this is the happiest chat I've ever had in my life. And yeah, thank you, man. Thanks again. And Baymax says, which leads to the question, Jason. If LFL let you be immortalized as an extra in a Star Wars, would that be your silence? I hope not. Would that buy your silence? Scoops game, too much fun. Yeah, that's what was kind of funny about that shit. Was it's like I saw people like trying to like throw in on Bespin and shit like that about it just being like little fucking babies. And it was like, at the end of the day, that would be the best thing that they could do is if I was like, I want to try to be an extra, and then I pulled it off, because then they could just sue me into oblivion and you never hear from me again. Or I just couldn't do it. At the same time, if I had the opportunity, could I say no? I don't know. I think it's a double-edged sword, because I think if I was in an episode of something I really liked, I think it would take me out of it. I think it would kind of ruin it for me. So would it be worth it?
You really want to be an extra in Star Wars?
Well, that's kind of where I'm going with it. Like, the answer is like, a part of me is like, fuck yeah. Another part of me is like, but then if I might lose that. And so I don't know. I think I would rather be an extra in something like Skeleton Crew, where it was just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I mean, being able to be on set with Obi-Wan Kenobi, how fucking cool is that? You know, that's pretty rad, I think. So
I think what's cooler
know.
is when you pull up to him next in a car and he knows who you are. You know, like, what's up, dude? Hey, what's up? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's something, I'm not enamored with fame like that. You know, like,
Yeah.
you get no sense of like real ownership in something like an extra to me. Like, you're just, it's part of its way to get in. I get it, but for me, it's like, it's a lot of effort for, hey, there I am in the background. Like, I literally, especially now, I could just deep fake my face into all the Star Wars episodes. I can be in all the movies if I want. Like you go, it's not real, and none of it's really real anyway, isn't it? So like,
yeah,
it's all sort of imaginary.
It is pretty rad though. It is pretty rad.
I mean,
like,
if you had like, I don't know, man, like Simon Pegg played Unkar Plutt, right? Like, like, does that buy his silence? I don't think so. I think what you're doing is better in a lot of ways. Look, financially, I don't know which one. It's better for me. You only get like $500 a day, right? For like fucking extra. So like,
do you think you even get that much?
Bro, I'm being generous. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like 100.
I don't.
So like, it's like $100, and maybe you get a meal voucher to the secondary table with the peanuts. So like, and you have a nut allergy, so it doesn't even help. But like, first, if you eat them, you can sue them on set. But that's why I'm saying, like, I think the better buy off is if they were like, hey, you want to host our Star Wars YouTube show? Maybe, you know, like,
no,
I payday in it.
Every time, not even the context, but like the buy off concept for me is always like, like, you know, there was a time when we agreed to be cool to each other, you know, me and the Lucasfilm.
So,
and then they immediately fed me a bunch of bullshit and didn't, you know, live up to their end of the agreement whatsoever. And it was around the time of Solo. But I have to say, in terms of reporting on Star Wars stuff and being involved in Star Wars stuff, having my hands tied was the worst like year or 6 months or whatever I ever had. I did not appreciate it on that front. Yeah, it wasn't any fun. It wasn't any, you know, it was just like, I don't know. I don't like worrying if I'm going to make mommy and daddy mad. Fuck it. I don't care about them.
Here's the problem, and I know because I've been living this. Like, once you're free, you don't. Once you're a free Dobby, you don't want to be a house elf again. Like, you get that freedom to go. I'm gonna go to this set and check this out, and then I'm gonna look at this stuff and talk about this topic. The minute you work for them, you can't say nothing ever about anything. And that being told no, man. Once you got that taste of sweet freedom, you don't want to be told no. Like, it would take $1 million. It would have to take a lot of money so that I would not turn on the internet. I'd be too busy doing other shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what would have to be. Yeah.
The other side of it too is that a lot of people think like you, when they get hired at Lucasfilm, for instance, that all of a sudden, like, you know, all of the data of whatever's going on is downloaded into their brains. I've had people from Lucasfilm say like, I know a lot about the project from your site.
Yeah.
because it can be rather compartmentalized at times. And so yeah,
I worked on some games for years. I still don't know what they were thinking half the time. Like, how do you not know that? Because I talked to like 1 or 2 people, you know what I mean? And they only tell me what they immediately need.
Yeah.
I can look at sort of what they're doing, but other than that, I don't know. Like, I'm working on a project now. I don't know how it was made.
Yeah.
It just shows up. Here's your part. And you're like, oh, wow. You know, you started that? Okay. You know, like, no thought about where it's going. Just go do your thing now. All right. Like, it's just not as well put. It's not. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Also plus once you work for the company you dream about, right? You're not going to be working there forever. Like, and that
Yeah.
could be literally 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I worked with Blizzard for a very short amount of time. They just decided, nah, we're gonna trim back. You know what I mean? And keep who we got and not expand. And it was just no fault of my own. It's just the way it works. And it's like, what was all that effort for? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
weird...
continually, people that I know who work in the company are continually like, it's never as good as it was last year. Like, that's what they always say. Everybody's always like, yeah, I've been working out my resume like all the time. And I'm just like, yeah, do what's best for you. And happy Friday, Don. Also, Don, do what's best for you.
I know people go, you bring it to military, but this is like something I never encountered this before because I never had like I always worked for my dad or like a toy store, nothing genius. But like, they always say your best duty station was your last, right? Like everywhere you go. And I toured like 5 different t-shirt companies in like 4 years once because they kept going out of business.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to go to another one. And it was always like, is it getting worse? And every time I get there, they go, man, it was great right up until like a year ago. Now it's all like bad. And I'm like, then why are you still here? I don't got time for this. I just want to make shit, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't, most people who I know who were involved in it are like happy that they put their hand in it, that they got to step up to the plate, so to speak, as opposed to never knowing and having the opportunity. But most of them are like, yeah, it's like any other job and it sucks. So you have to really love that particular skill that you're into that has to pertain to that. Like, sometimes I think people like the dream is just like, I'm working for Star Wars, and that's like a lot of childhood nonsense probably, but I never worked there, so what would I know?
I always think too, like for me, like I think the benefit as a creative is to always go somewhere where they're on a losing streak a little bit, where you can make a difference, where someone isn't. You get a little bit more room to be creative. So like Star Wars related, Otis Frampton's an artist on Instagram and professional artist. He's super good. And he, for years, he was doing these Jawa adventures.
Otis Frampton Comes Alive. It's a good record.
And he, I know. And he did them on his own, and they're so great. And I'm like, something like a Jawa Adventures, that would be something I'd be interested in working on, like something where there's no room for not competition, but there's just nothing being done in that space.
That's what I wish they would do for those kid centric kind of shows, like that do one, like, but they want to. I think they want to do like character identification at an early age, where like you're 2 and you're like, that's Darth Vader, and then now they got you for life. But it would be so much more fun if those like young shows use that kind of stuff, like Jawas and just the more cutesy things. But Junkbox says, do you really think they're going to push ahead with the 2nd season, or is it just everyone involved making it on the hype train when talking about it for the press tours? Loving the show so far. Well, let's go over really quickly and share this article from yesterday, which lines up with essentially what I heard from a lot of my contacts at Disney recently. If you remember that report that I did, let me get this up here. It's from the Radio Times, and it says Obi-Wan Kenobi stars and director on season 2 hopes. There are more stories. And Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are keen to return to the Star Wars spinoff by Lauren Morris. While there's still one episode to go before Obi-Wan Kenobi wraps up, the show's cast and crew are already looking to the future, with Hayden Christensen revealing he would be open to season 2. Of course he would. The prequel miniseries, which sees Ewan McGregor and Christensen reprise their roles as Obi-Wan and Anakin, follow the Jedi Master on his rescue mission to save Leia. Speaking to Radio Times in this exclusive interview, Deborah Chow said that while she planned for Obi-Wan to be a limited series, there are more stories that you could tell. And goes
I take it back, Jason. If I could be a pod racer, I'd be off the show in a second.
All right, that's fair.
I'm gonna fuck you guys. I'm a pod racer. Hate me all you want,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want the Dumb and Dumber moment with Padme's handmaidens to come up in the bus and drive right next to us, and if they know two guys,
when we turn it down.
Yeah, we're like, no, I saw some guys down there. Anyways,
Josh is down there. You go to him. There. Good luck. Good luck. Have fun. I'm really interested in what they have to say. You go find out.
The thermometer of the fandom. He tells you how hot it is or how hot it's not. All right. So anyway,
where he takes that thermometer.
We always did conceive of this at the limited series, she said. So it's not an adventure of the week's sort of story. It's one big story with a beginning, middle, and end. So I think the story was very much conceived to be its own standalone. However, Chow added, I mean, there are, of course, more stories you can tell. There's obviously another 10 years before we get to A New Hope. And with a character like Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think even just watching him ride across the sand sometimes is interesting. So who knows? It's hard to say right now, but it's not the intention. And then, and for whether she has plans for a second season, Chow said, honestly, at this point, the only thing I'm thinking is taking a vacation. I haven't gotten there. I can't even conceive of it yet. I just need to actually finish the show to get there first.
Someone should tell her, dude. There's plenty of seats open on Galactic Starship. Take a vacation when she's done.
Do that to her. Well, it was definitely conceived of as a standalone story, but I would love to continue with this character, this is Anakin, Hayden. I think there's certainly more to explore, and I would be so excited to get to do so. And I think he's saying that because he's going to be in Ahsoka, though, and they haven't announced it. They kept that out of Celebration for whatever reason. He's not the only one, with Ewan McGregor previously telling Radio Times that he would like to do it again. I hope it's not the last time I play him, he noted. I had such a great time doing this. I'm sure we can think of a few more stories before I turn into Alec Guinness, don't you think? So I'm just going to throw it out there. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Could go either way. I don't think articles like this happen completely on accident 4 or 5 times. 1 time, sure. 2 times, maybe. But we start to see like 4 or 5 of these things now. You definitely are seeing some kind of campaign to go on and to like continue it. And I will throw it out there, not as a slight to Deborah Chow or anything like that, but whether they do a part 2 might have very little to do with her. It's going to have to do with, I think, probably if Lucasfilm wants to do that story and that series. And one of the things, I'd love to be wrong about this, but that how it looks when you look at what's on our plate, we got Acolyte, High Republic, right? We got Mando 3, Mandoverse, as you will. Then we got Skeleton Crew, still in the closer to the Mandoverse stuff. Then we got Andor 1 and 2, and Andor 2 will start filming fairly soon. But what do you have after that? That's in the Dark Times. That has one foot in the Dark Times and the original trilogy kind of air stuff. As far as we know, there's not necessarily anything on the docket. And I think that could be good news for continuing the story with Rokin and Riva and Bail Organa and what they're up to. And then Kenobi is involved. Like, I think that's where it's going to go. I don't know if it'll be called Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 2 the next day. I don't think it'll go that way. But
Obi-2 Kenobi.
So if you want to read Yancey's super chat, which I appreciate, Yancey, you have to get out your secret decoder, which is a guitar pick, and hold it over. And it says, Jason, you are such a man. How can I become such a man like you? Taco Bell.
Also F Rob.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
But thank you, Yancey. I appreciate it.
FF.
Right?
I like it.
Right. So, sorry. Go back to it. I didn't mean to. Aria says, Dr. Pepper on me. Write an article about this news. Thank you, Aria. I will Dr. Pepper the shit out of that. I appreciate it. Diet Dr. Pepper, because I only want to get this fat, not fatter. Appreciate it. So, and Aria messaged me, so just seeing now too. How does Riva turn the lightsaber on without showing it to Luke? I don't know. Like I'm being upfront here. Like I was told it was from a certain point of view, the old joke. And so I don't know how they shot it. I don't know what they, what was done to make this into a thing. For all I know, they fucking CGI'd that wall that they put in front of R2 and A New Hope in there. But I don't know.
Man.
Remember that?
I don't know if you're aware of this or not, Jason, but I can make Han Solo move. I can just make him move, even if he's not moving. We have the technology, so I can make a lightsaber move.
You can't shoot me.
It's pretty easy. We have the
can't shoot me, Greedo.
I am a tech guy, so I can do it.
So I want George to be telling everybody it can happen, and I'm the ILM guy, and he's like, do it, and I'm like, and he's like, see, it works. See, you literally can't shoot him. You could try, but you will miss.
You gotta do a song with do when he goes to the shift, right? Like that's almost like those. Remember those SNL guys who are like, this,
the Night at the Roxbury guys.
Like the solo jitter. I love it, dude.
Star Wars in Game says, as long as it's not a Lord of the Rings ending, I'll be happy. No slow, drawn out goodbyes. Ooh, I don't know about. I will say, I think you are going to have quiet. It's going to be Star Wars still, so it's not going to be Lord of the Rings. It won't, regardless of what the run times in Canadian movie theaters are telling you. It's not going to be a 2-hour affair.
The fact that that's not a joke,
yeah, right.
It seems like a line you'd come up with,
Yeah,
but it
does. It sounds. Yeah, it's really happening.
All right.
Yeah, I would put that last episode in the 60-minute vicinity. I would bet on it being under 60 minutes, but if it was 65 minutes or it was 50 minutes, it really wouldn't surprise me, But there's a lot to do in the episode. There's a lot of big moments that will happen, so I think it's going to be pretty jam packed. But there is a little bit. I got like I said, the last 15-20 minutes from what I hear are just are kind of Kenobi winding it down, and it's very much about him. It's not about Riva. And I will say though, the people that it were really on the anti-Riva train in the worst way, I gotta say, I think the Riva story has ended up fairly intriguing. The fact I think that it was a very smart move by Joby Harold to have the bad guy not just be unlimited power. I want power. I'm evil. They do a fake out on that in the first episodes because she's faking them out with that. But it being directly tied to Kenobi, that this isn't just a person coming out of left field. This person has a tie to Kenobi. I thought I like how all of the threads in this were put together. I will not defend all of the execution all of the time, but I think Joby Harold fucking did a good job.
Everyone kind of knows I've been a little critical.
What? You?
just a smidge. But look, the thing I like most about the story is if it is a sequel to Revenge of the Sith, what is the fallout from Kenobi and Anakin and Vader and all of that on a personal level, directly responsible. I don't like galactic. They persecuted tons of planets. The numbers are too big. You gotta personalize it somehow for it to really matter.
Yeah.
And Riva having survived that, that is something I really, really like, because that means Obi-Wan's, he's not innocent. He's not guilty, but he's not innocent. He has to reckon with that,
Yeah.
And she also has to reckon with, she also chose to become evil. Even though that happened, she still chose to do a lot of evil shit just for the pursuit of revenge. I just wish they didn't mystery box it. And I wish those ideas were conveyed very clearly in the feeling and not in of the explaining.
Yeah.
I do cite on feeling the story more than explaining the story. So
I like that. I was talking about the Haja and the allies Obi-Wan makes sort of are a reflection of him at times. and in funny ways, like with Haja in that instance. But what I did find funny was he gives Haja all his shit. Like he trusts the guy to hold his stuff with the communicator from Bail Organa. And then like that was the one thing. Then Haja fucking just drops it and like loses it. And I was like, well, and I was like, well, you know what though? At the same time, it kind of is defeating of the point, but at the same time, Obi-Wan fucks up. It's literally what Obi-Wan does. He fucks up all the time. He's not perfect. He does fuck up. It does happen. And that's one of the things about him is he makes little errors. And it's probably because he was never like the main character. But that one right there, I've rationalized that with that. But I don't think that's what they intended. I think that they just had to have that communicator moment at the end of the day. And didn't want to spend time to have like to make it a big gag, so they just made it like, oops. Will Morgan says, "See, Jason, this is what Obi-Wan is about. There's a lot more going on under the cheap surface facade and supposed lazy writing." Oh yeah, that's my whole thing is I haven't felt that the writing. I mean, you said supposed, I get it, Will, but like my whole thing is that I don't think that the writing has been lazy in the whole thing. People have called it lazy because they didn't see it all or because they didn't see what was coming. And sometimes I think it might be
I don't
good
think
writing.
it's lazy. What I would say in my critique of it would be something. I'm gonna again put Chris McQuarrie on Rob Bingo forever. Just put that center square because I'm gonna go back to this. He did an interview not too long ago.
Christopher McQuarrie.
Anytime I have
suck it. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Well, he still does sequence-driven writing, and so he's super good at it. The thing that gets me is he was doing an interview where they started out with you started with an Oscar on The Usual Suspects, which is full of prose, and now he's like, I'm at a point where I'm trying to put almost no dialogue in my movies, and there were and he said the way I came about that was, and he said I learned this when he was directing Way of the Gun, is that he wrote a script and then he shot the script, but he didn't direct the movie.
Meanwhile, though, he's driving home and he's going, I told all those people I don't put dialogue in my movies because I'm like really super smart, but really I love those international box office numbers. No, I'm kidding.
No, he puts the dialogue. He goes, where
joking.
you have to.
I'm joking.
But
that would be an advantage of the international, box office.
Possibly. Sometimes they just love America. The Fast and the Furious films and the Transformers films had a lot of dialogue. I don't know. It's hard to say what does.
Yeah, that gave us Sun King.
But he would say that the way he came about that wasn't. It was like this. Like he's like, normally Hollywood teaches you to write a script, sell a script. A director picks up the script, and then by virtue of the process of how movies are made, that script will change because even though the script says we need it black that day on set, hey man, we had red. Or the director decided to make it red. And so he ends up in a situation where he can write something, and then let's say it's an action sequence. Then we find the location that fits this, but then we find the location it's not exactly, so then you have to rewrite it to match the location. And then when you're on the day of the location, you may or may not be able to you want to keep that scene in. The less dialogue or exposition that's in the scene means that you can tailor that scene to whatever else changes in the movie.
Right.
And he learned that from making films correctly and incorrect, and working on films that weren't working too. And so where I feel this, and he said the thing that he feels most screenwriters can learn from is not from more writing, it's from the directing and editing. Because if you're writing in a way that, the best way to write is that you're writing as an editor, as the cinematographer. The writing affects the cinematography. It affects what time of day something takes place, where it takes place. And the editing is directly affected by the writing. So you don't have to try as hard in the editing room or with the camera composition to do things if you're figuring that in the beginning. And so to get better at screenwriting, really study the editing and the camera work more than more writing. Yeah. And so I just think about this, like this feels like something where, to me, the script was shot as is, and then they're using the editing to kind of like, like you could feel the editing in front of the story sometimes. And so that's the one thing where I'm like, hey, look, round 2, man, I hope they learn from it, and you
maybe now see that they're never gonna, I mean, like the thing, like your gripe is that they like held the Riva stuff as if it was going to be a huge revelation, and it wasn't, right? That's kind of like where you're structurally, where you're like, about it. Am I right in that?
That would be one gripe, sure.
Yeah. And it's just like I'm not necessarily against that. Like I kind of think that it would have got people on board with their character earlier than later. But it does just seem like the kind of shit that they constantly do because of the way that they view serialized stories. And I think that, like, I also think that sometimes I fear that there's a cynicism within Lucasfilm that any new character is going to be hated. And then therefore they can do that and they should do that because they feel like they have to win you over rather than just you coming in liking it. But I don't know if that's necessarily true, but sometimes that's a perception that I sense. You know what I mean? Like where they think that no matter what, it's going to go that way. And maybe in certain ways they're doing a self-fulfilling prophecy in that way. But anyways, I was going to say Uncle Owen with the Canadian Bantha convoy. Yeah, that probably happened. Star Wars in Game says Beru appeared on a Wade's World holocast. Wade and Darth talked to the woman and raised the greatest Jedi of all time. we should do that, but the interview is a puppet of the burnt skeleton, and she's just like, on strings.
I'm glad you're dead. Sorry.
But yeah, Luke Skywalker should get flame retardant armor. Just judging by the people that are around him. Baymax says Ned Beta is dead. Ned Alpha can be in season 2. Those alpha guys on other channels can flex their hive mind muscles again. Hurrah!
Ned Incel.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is kind of weird though that he kind of like the way he falls on Tala at the end. It's like so ripe for jokes. Baymax says, I agree. Maybe better not meet your heroes and be an extra. Yeah, probably. But I mean, at the same
time, change out your whole career though. Then you got to go work at Walmart because you were an extra once on the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know, man.
Wait. Why would you have to go work at Walmart because you were an extra once? Most people just like take a vacation.
It's because you get paid the $100. You get your peanuts. You go home. I don't know, like. And Jason, the whole question was, would you trade this career for a shot to be an extra on one Star Wars show? And I just don't see how that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if you cash the check or do you direct deposit using you direct deposit using your phone and then you keep the check and then you could frame your Star Wars check. That's what I would do.
That's what I did when Kevin Eastman sent me money. That was a highlight of and I'm about to this year check off my greatest dream of all time. I'm going to receive a check from one of my artistic heroes. And when I do, I'm like, what do I do? My wife said, you're cashing the fucking check. Don't even I'm like, oh no.
No, like I said, deposit it using the phone app and then you could keep the check. You know what I mean? And then you could spend it and keep it, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that works. But you could always go back and you could write change the amount from the Ninja Turtles guy to like millions of dollars, and then in the comment line write for creating Ninja Turtles with me and cash it. It'll work.
Yeah,
no one will notice.
That's not.
I'm kidding. Will Morgan says, don't work at Bennigan's if you like to eat at Bennigan's. Don't be a Star Wars extra if you like Star Wars. Yeah,
funny story about Bennigan's. My prom night, I had my dad got me a town car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my girlfriend broke up with me like 3 weeks before, but we still went with her friends, and I had to sit in the front seat, and I'm like, this fucking night sucks. They're all in the back seat, and I looked at the driver. I'm like, he's like, you guys doing dinner? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't plan this out. Like, he's like, where'd it go? He's like, I'll take you to Bennigan's. I'm like, what's Bennigan's? And I had the Monte Cristo, and I was like, it's a meat donut. Happiest part of my night. Like,
I've never been to a Bennigan's. I've only heard of it on South Park, I think.
Yeah,
like I heard it mentioned on South Park.
Last time I was at a Bennigan's was in 2003. No, 4. Sorry, 4.
Yeah. When it which ties into this conversation or this idea. Most of the people I know who have worked on a Star Wars don't like the Star Wars movies that they worked on. I know there's something that goes because they all suck in the Disney era, but I really think that some of these people probably would have liked the Disney era. But yeah, it does kind of, seeing how the sausage is made doesn't necessarily do the best wonders for the imagination, I would imagine.
Well, it happens even in the licensed t-shirt game, like I'd make 100 t-shirts for the Avengers film before the movie came out. Then it's like, hey, we're all gonna take the day off and go see the movie. I'm like, and you gotta clock out. I'm like, I'm staying at work. I'm not losing money to go. I'll see this shit, on Saturday. Yeah. But even then, it took a long time to get excited about something that you're getting notes on for like a year, it does take a bit of the wind in the sails. So since I stopped doing that, I'm like, I look forward to this again. Yay.
Right.
I understand that feeling.
But please like the video if you can, and if you haven't, I would appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, wait. Baymax says Simon Pegg was ultra critical of the prequel trilogy, like hated it. Yeah, I remember. I liked his show, and then he burned all his prequel toys, and it made me sad. Got the role.
He apologized for that, by the way.
Yeah, and consulted in the sequel trilogy. Been pretty quiet since. Yeah. I think. I'm going to imagine he probably doesn't like the sequel trilogy very much, but at the same time, like it would be a big dickhead move to go and be hypercritical of something that probably your friends made with you. You know what I mean? That's my take anyway. Star Wars Santa says, for the record, I would quit my Oracle database programming job in a heartbeat to work for Lucasfilm. Sure. But would you quit it to be an extra?
Would you really leave the North Pole to work in Marin County, Santa? Do you have any idea what the property taxes are compared to where you're living right now? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. But a lot of people I've known who worked at Lucasfilm couldn't even live in the city at all. It's just too fucking expensive. They would have to take the BART over. Star Wars Satan. I almost said Santa. Says, damn, I'm late. I think it's I think that Satan. I think you're on time because you're Satan.
Kids love Santa and Satan equally.
Yeah.
It's when they turn to adults they get all pissy about both. Satan's fun when you're a kid.
Satan says he would quit his job to work for Star Wars Santa. So there you go.
the team up with the Odd Couple reboot we didn't know we needed.
Yeah. Aria's all, when can we expect to see your article? Oh, I'm writing it right now, Aria, as we do the show. Baymax says George LFL seemed to be the happiest place to work in the world. I know, because most of the time you were probably sitting around not doing anything, waiting for George to fucking do something. So when you had to do something, you're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm down to do anything. Let's just do something, Monkey Island promotion.
Jason, I didn't even have to invent Watto's language. You can just leave that to other people the day of. It's brilliant. It's a fun place to work.
Mm-hmm. I love that story.
No.
He's like, just come up with it. Oh no.
Yeah.
Say some shit.
I was thinking about that the other day though, and I felt like the Hut Tease was written in the leaked script in 2001. So I'm kind of curious. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't have any written down that day. So unless he and in 2002, did he have a VHS copy of The Phantom Menace in his trailer that day? I'm gonna guess no. Or 2001 when they shot it.
I mean, I do. No, I'm kidding. Junkbox says,
he had to be a WCW versus NWO fan at the time. Like, had to be.
Junkbox says, actors want work. Color me shocked. This is what I meant by press tours. Of course, they would say they want more work. Yeah, but it's not just the actors though, Junkbox. It's Chow. It's Ewan who's the executive producer, but still, an actor. So I'll concede that. And then, but yeah. And then, like I said, I have heard from people at Disney personally that they want it. So it sounds to me like they are all but going to say that they're going to do it. I think they still need the aha aspect of it. Yes.
Well, good news, Jason. Kenobi 2 is confirmed. Bad news. Robert Rodriguez gonna film all of it like next week. It's gonna be best. You're gonna love it.
Well,
Disney give it.
Dave,
Disney take it away.
Send him a gift certificate for Toys R Us so he could go buy some toys and direct the movie.
Yeah. I love that. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that.
That'd be good. Great art. Wait, are you mocking the fact that I didn't write the article, Chris? How you doing, Chris? Star Wars in Game says more stories to tell.
Hold on.
Oh,
Chris's pick is
Chris
mocking
sent me the article. No,
Chris
Chris sent me that article. Chris was the one who gave me the heads up on the article. So that's what. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Matt Risman said that, whoa, $10. Thank you, Matt. Was watching delayed and just wanted to say how absolutely annoyed my mother and I were at the end of the Merlin series. To this day, we still joke about it being one of the biggest letdowns ever. Laugh out loud. I know. I wasn't even invested. And I was just like, are you serious right now? This is what you're going to do to these people. Like,
I'll leave that out.
That's how. No, that's how.
I'm waiting for the Merlin fans go. Just because you're so pretentious, you can't enjoy it. I feel sorry for you. Like, I feel okay.
Yeah.
You're a pretentious Merlin hating ass.
Yeah.
I need Richard Lewis to watch the Merlin series with me. That I could do. Yeah, I like Richard Lewis. I like it.
Star Wars in-game says more stories to tell, meaning they have some storylines that have been pitched or written out for out of this first season. Speculate. I think that if there are obvious things like I hinted at Rokin going his own way, and then what that ends up meaning. Riva, what happens next to her? Like where does she end up? What's going to happen based off of this story? Like, and the fact that she doesn't bite it now. So
she starts the mod shop on Tatooine.
The mod shop.
Like, because she's, she's like, I got guts. Just pull them out, start some.
No.
But she's there. She doesn't have to go anywhere. It's like,
yeah. But anyways, we end up with like a couple of things. Like there does, for the first time in a weird way, become new work to be done in a story. So you have those elements, and I think they decide if they're going to pick up on that or not. And I believe Haja lives, but I was feeling less confident about that, because if he does die, I don't know how he dies.
Well,
but if Haja lives,
we talked about
that too.
The thing we talked about during Book of Boba Fett that we thought would have been really cool to see was an A story and a B story, where you got old Boba Fett story and a young Boba Fett story with Daniel Logan, and they're like jumping between the two. And the one thing the last episode proved to me is that would work flawlessly in Star Wars. Like going between young.
I like your idea, but I don't believe these people. I'm not our chat, but the fandom at large can take fucking any kind of, like, even the Riva thing, even going with that narrative structure, fucking, you know what I mean?
It does work though.
It
does work.
No, I know. It just in Book of Boba Fett, like we talked about before, Conan the Barbarian was a fucking barbarian, and then he was an honorable king. So you kind of get a juxtaposition. Boba Fett just juxtaposed Bach the Tanks against Bach the Tanks. So you ended up just like, okay.
I need a Bach the Tank cartoon. I need to work that one out. Bach the Tank is here. It's coming.
Part 2 folks. With Charlie Sheen as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was playing Fortnite with Bespin. Man, are you here, Bespin? Text me if you are. What was the line? He does this like Tamara Morrison impersonation where he goes, you need Bacta. I guess it's from like one of the 2002 video games, and it's like him being a clone going, you need Bacta. But it's so good when he does it. It sounds just like him. Star Wars Satan says everyone knows Riva will be redeemed. Yeah, I think though it's like in what way? That's always been like the question about that. Like her not killing a kid, is that really redemption, or is that just not being the biggest piece of shit of the pieces of shit? Like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of where I'm at with it. Like, was Asajj Ventress redeemed when she stopped serving Dooku? And then, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's a weird moral kind of conversation to have. So I don't think like it's going to be like Riva does this and then has like an attitude adjustment 1 second later and is just like, you know, all smiles and is down, you know, to be the most cheery, you know, person in the world who's down to help and becomes Tala 1 minute later. I don't think we're going to go that way with it. At least I hope not. I hope not, Satan. Oh, Satan, please make that not true, Satan. But
all I gotta say is if she buries her lightsaber in the sand, man, I just don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lightsabers in Tatooine.
I like how Satan puts that. She's the only Inquisitor that's not all ugly and shit. So obviously she turns to the light. You know.
Well spoken.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Not all ugly and shit. Yeah, I mean, there definitely is that component that you can.
He ain't lying.
See. Yeah, no, and they didn't go with any mask or anything with her. So at the end of the day, so they were like, you know, which I think in the end was good. Not good for action figures and costumes, but good for the performance, I think. So yeah,
I don't know.
But I think
it would have been cooler if the mask came off and then we saw it was the girl in the front of the show. But if you're gonna mystery box it, may as well. They're already doing a mystery boxing, so you can't say one is better than the other. It's just a different choice.
Well,
you know?
No, but we are already agreeing that mystery boxing it gets a bit tiresome. It doesn't like it really has to pay off.
Sure, but they're already doing it. So now I'm going all in on the mystery box.
Two wrongs don't make it right, Rob.
That's
McQuarrie.
not true.
Christopher McQuarrie, 1999.
Yes.
I read it in his biography.
You know, he's absolutely right, but we're not about doing right or wrong. We're about making Star Wars.
And making Star Wars is
hard.
There we go.
Look, if McQuarrie ever does one of those stupid cameos, I'm paying him to say making Star Wars is hard. I don't care how much it costs. Whipping out the credit card.
Right. Shogun's you say a meat donut?
Yeah, Monte Cristo, man. Like they take this like sandwich full of meat and cheese and jelly and deep fry it. So it literally is like a meat, cheese, jelly.
All right. Let's not talk about it anymore. I'm getting hungry when I was fine on the diet. I want to talk about it. Sounds great though. Junk Fox says the last line of Kenobi should be, "This will begin to make things right." Yeah. I think what should happen is we should get, you know, directed by Deborah Chow, and then we should have the Iris out thing, and then it's Kenobi, and then he goes, "Hello there," and then an Iris is back in, and that's the end. You're like, what the fuck did I just watch? You know, that would be good.
I like it.
Yeah, I'd be all about it. But yeah, but you know, overall, like from what I know, what we know, and what I've seen, like I said, I am happy with it as a story. I think your average people, you know, your aunts and uncles and cousins and dads and sisters and all that jazz who fought, well, okay, yeah, that guy, you know like Batman. Give me a fucking break. If you don't like Batman, what the fuck? The guy doesn't like life. But
it's true, he doesn't.
Yeah. No, but I whenever like average people talk to me like I go to 2 different 7-Elevens. I know it's weird. I need my large Coke Zero. I need that caffeine with 0 calories. So I go to 7-Eleven, get that, and I go to 2 different ones, and I don't bring it up. They bring it up to me because I had Star Wars shirts on, but they always ask me. They always like talking. Hey, did you see the new Kenobi or whatever it was? This started back during Boba Fett. And for the record, the 7-Eleven dudes both liked Boba Fett. Every week they were like happy. Also, they were happy here. Family members I talked to, they're all happy. they're all like, yeah.
Fortunately, they got shipped to Rwanda. Poor guys.
You know. But so like it is. I am curious to see. You know, it sucks that we live in a world where people will bomb the Rotten Tomatoes because they're petulant. Is what it is.
Weird.
But I am curious
so
to see like you know, what is like the general reaction of it, because that's like the other thing about this shit. I don't think Disney butts in too much with what they're doing at Lucasfilm, but I think that they are cognizant of the fact that they are still going to sell this to Disney people, and there is always a little bit of that element to it that keeps it from, you know, that's why it's probably never going to be like a Zack Snyder universe version of Star Wars. It's probably not going to happen, and or something like.
You're gonna get that on Netflix next year, right?
What, Rebel Moon?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Star Wars at all, though. Yeah, like he posted some images and stuff, and it looks like something I would be interested in checking out, but it doesn't look like he you know, went down a Star Wars road with it, or like it's Zack Snyder Star Wars. It doesn't really feel like that. Looking at the concept art and the couple of the pics he posted, but also like was it you and I who were talking about this? I can't remember now, but so having a conversation with somebody and they're like, you know, you don't need Jedi and everything, but then maybe if you don't put Jedi in, it's not Star Wars. That was you, yeah. And I think
I'm the guy who never wanted Jedi in my West End role-playing games and stuff.
Yeah,
like I like Dark Forces before the lightsabers. However, as much as Rogue One's like my third favorite Star Wars film, people only remember the Darth Vader moment. Like, a bunch of great shit happens, and if you read Catalyst, a lot of great shit happens. But they remember lightsaber, and so and even like with the Mando, Yoda is essentially a lightsaber. You got a baby Yoda, you got a little lightsaber right there. You know, they're intrinsically tied. So like, and that show really hit the zeitgeist when the Luke Skywalker shows up with the lightsaber. So
yeah.
So I do think that what makes Star Wars different than just a space saga opera style serial is the lightsaber. And you trim it out. I don't know. As much as Andor's what I'm looking forward to, I do fear that unless there's some lightsaber somewheres, that the average person might be like, oh no, it doesn't look interesting. And then why does it looks great? Oh, because there's no lightsaber. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think lightsabers are akin to fireworks. They don't necessarily have to mean anything or really have any, but they're just pretty to look at. So at the end of the day, it's like you end up taking something that could be very drab and then you've made it pretty with fireworks, you know? And it does go a long way, more than it should, but we're dumb and it works on me really well. Star Wars and Game says, by the way, all those lightsabers in the box that Kenobi looked at, where did they get all of them? So I think we could just speculate on that at the end of the day, but you have people that are who were Jedi in hiding. You have people and they're being relocated. Excuse me. I don't think they're going to take their lightsabers with them into their new lives. I think if you're going to put somebody in deep cover, for instance, you know, the Star Wars Witness Protection Program, if you will, for Jedi, I don't think you want them to have the lightsaber. So maybe they're like handing them over, you know, and putting them and you know, giving them up, or maybe they're Jedi from the people who've died or who've fallen in protecting the path. There could be a lot of different things, you know, like at one point I had heard that Haja passed them out. But when I look at the box and then I look at Haja taking Obi-Wan's lightsaber, I'm like, what if you know, you watch this thing and it's not that, it's the opposite, you know. But I'm
so
curious
what
to
they're
see,
really
though,
saying.
But there's still a fight.
Jedi. There was Jedi everywhere during the OT. They were just too chicken shit to do anything.
Yeah,
I'm being facetious, but I can hear the argument.
No,
they haven't done that math yet, Jason. But
I'll tell you this, man.
You know?
That fucking Yoda's a fucking cuck. He didn't do a fucking thing. Palpatine was sitting there giving the long dark side dick to the galaxy while he just sat there and watched. That's why I don't like.
Where was Corin Horn? Where was Corin Horn?
Where was the horn dog that whole time?
He
was
was
5
at
years
home
old.
washing his tights, like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars needs an enema. Daniel Fisher says, "Oh my God, you and doing the Porky Pig, that's all folks bit would kill me." Yeah, that would be people be like, "What the fuck did we just see?" Will Morgan says the Monte Cristo goes in the deep fryer at 10 ounces, comes out at 20 ounces. What
It
the fuck?
does. Bro, you've never had a Monte Cristo?
That sounds good though.
Look, I'm telling you, one day when you get down to your weight and you're willing to break a little diet,
yeah,
just try it once and then never do it again. That's my advice. It's probably what inspired carny food.
Do we even have Bennigan's in Southern California?
I don't think so. I think that shit went out of business.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but there's got to be a place to get a pretty good Monte Cristo if you just go into Yelp and type that shit in LA.
Yeah.
I can't speak to the food quality of Bennigan's now, but nor then. My taste buds were way different. I used to hang out at this place every day. But yeah, it's definitely worth trying at least once.
Yeah, it sounds good. I feel like I had a Monte Cristo once at a diner, and it was like a breakfast sandwich with jelly on it. And I was like, this is good, but it wasn't a good place. It wasn't a good diner. So, I don't think it would represent it well.
Like fresh beignets, right? Beignets, right? Like, yeah, you can get a donut, but a fresh beignet is not the same thing as a donut.
Okay.
Essentially, it should be. It's dough deep fried with powdered sugar, but no. You need
All right.
to get a good fresh place.
Let's stop talking about it. I'm getting hungry. It's bullshit. You're not helping. Hello Me says, can someone inform me what the good news is about the ending? If you didn't want Luke to see a lightsaber, I don't think he's going to see it. I think they did some creative blocking. So, Clone, thank you for being a channel member, by the way. Do you know anything about Riva's new ending plays out? Does she walk off into the sunset, or does it feel like a new start for her that could have more to tell? Yeah, that's what I don't really I don't know. I mean, I know that there was like coverage of her leaving and being like, feeling like knowing that she was gonna do something else, but that's when I think she was gonna die, probably. And so I could see that still probably being used in this shot, in this thing, to say something else. But the other question
I just had a vision.
I didn't ask.
Hold on. I just had a vision when she initially died. Owen's like, what do I do with this? There's a freaking body of an Imperial soldier here. You know what I mean? Like, and so they cut to him and Obi-Wan at night going to the Sarlacc pit with Riva's body. And Beru's just like, what did I get my fucking son? That's what she speaks. What did I get myself into? This life.
And then they all go to bed. And then the next morning, when they wake up, she looks like Amber from episode 4. It was a rough night.
She just goes hard on the blue milk. Hard.
No,
what was it like? Jean-Claude Van Damme in Street Fighter. So hard.
I regretted not asking if Jimmy Smits of Bell Organa is going to show up on Tatooine, because like it does sort of imply he's headed there, doesn't it?
Yeah, he needs to chill out.
Like, yeah, he's freaking out. He's fucking freaking out.
Giving up Luke in comms channels and shit, Well, come on, man. Come on. Come on, Bale.
Yeah. Well, Will Morgan, what is it? Don't touch another man's rhubarb. Don't do it. Will Morgan says Bennigan's is done. Just fun to talk about. So not only did you guys make me hungry for something I never had, you made me hungry for something I can never have. Pieces of shit. No. Hello Me says, let's Goo. Goo is a good Sonic Youth record. I endorse it. But anyways, yeah. Well, we got anything else we hit on, or should we call this one a show and get to the weekend, so that way I can play Fortnite, get Darth Vader, and then the episode will come out. It's really quick going from the weekend to like Tuesdays for this Kenobi stuff. I've noticed that, and I like it. It makes me happy. But I'm excited to see the end. That like next week is the end. but I'm also a little sad that it's gone by so quick. And glad we got those 2 episodes up front together, but went fast, didn't it? Went fast, went hard.
For you. For
Oh,
me in the
come on.
chat, it was not.
Oh,
It was
the chat?
slow. It was very painful. Chat.
Let me ask you
chat
this, man. No, I was about, when you weren't here the other night, I was making fun of you for it. I wanted to bring it up. Do you think though, like watching it while you work out, do you think that like might make it worse for you? Like,
no, it makes it better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it does, yeah.
I've sat and watched the first 2 or 3 episodes without that. I just switched to doing something. So
yeah.
Look, I'm just gonna say, man.
No,
like,
I'm just. I mean,
people love Turtles too. You know what I mean? I enjoy Batman Forever. Batman Forever is not a perfect film. It's corny. It's got a lot of goofy shots. I have a lot of great memories at the time. And even though I don't like the score, I don't like Tommy Lee Jones, whatever his fucking take on Two-Face and shit. I don't. But I have a lot of fond memories of the experience,
Robert
out of the Schumacher movie
exists in Michigan. So we're going to Michigan, you guys.
So no one shitting on it is going to take away my love of that movie, nor am I going to defend its strengths or weaknesses. The movie does whatever it does,
Yeah.
And so I just feel like, like if it's not working for you, it's not working for you. Were we not on the show? I have to have an informed conversation. So I do watch it for that, but I do not ever, folks. I don't ever go into this going, now I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna take notes and show the chat how they're wrong. I don't do that.
Let me tell him what you say. He's like off the show. He tells me like, man, I wish we were doing this show during Mando when I was having the best time, so people know that I don't just shit on things because like Boba and that. And I was like, nah, man, you just shit on everything. It's what you do, piece of shit. No, I'm kidding. But it's
fine.
No, I don't think people should say if something's working for them when it's not. So,
but someone called me pretentious, and I'm like, how could my favorite movie of 2020 was SpongeBob on the Run? Like I am like I legitimately, when Genndy Tartakovsky or whatever, Genndy got that deal at Warner Brothers the other day, HBO, to produce more cartoons. I fucking ran around the house doing like laughs because his dinosaur animation thing and that Popeye thing he was working on, I love that guy's work. So like I just am always amazed at the making of. I wish we could have more of a conversation about the making of these things, which is why I love your behind the scenes and spoiler stuff, because we're in your pictures, because we can have how Star Wars was made. I'm more interested in how they make Star Wars than I am with the critical or cinematic review of the final product,
Which is good because this is Making Star Wars, which is what we talk about here.
It's the whole point.
Yeah, it's good.
So I could hate something. I'm fascinated with how they made Batman and Robin. I fucking hate that movie, with a passion.
Yeah.
So whatever. Love Batman Forever.
Thank you for the super chat and the support and being a Patreon member and all that jazz, dude. I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone who liked the video today, subscribes to the channel, is a channel member or a Patreon supporter. It means a lot. I do really deeply appreciate it. And everybody who, takes the time to send me a message on here, the fact that you, took time to send a message, I appreciate it, except for when you tell me about something ultra delicious that only exists in Michigan now.
I gave you $2.99, Jason. Like, you're almost there. You could almost get one.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Dell. Thank you, Star Wars The Game. Thank you for becoming a channel member. And hello me and Will Morgan and Santa and Matt. And I'm sorry about Merlin, Matt. It happened. I was there. And Satan, Hell's Satan.
Can't imagine going. I'm gonna watch Merlin today. Like, why?
Arya and Yancey and Grogu, Darth Grogu, and of course Baymax. Of course Baymax. Most of all Baymax and Mike Porter, and Johnny and Max. Where you at, Max? But thank you guys and Astro McJeremy and Blake. Like, you guys are the best. I appreciate all of the support. If I left anybody out,
Star Wars Putin.
Sorry. Who?
Santa Putin.
Oh, Star Wars Meg.
Star Wars Meg.
Yeah. SNM. thanks to S&M. This episode wouldn't be here if it wasn't for S&M. I'm just going to put that out there.
Someone say S&M.
Oh no!
Ooh, can't wait. I'm gonna go get me animal style devil.
But yeah, and if I forgot anybody, truly, it wasn't a slight. Especially you, Dale. It wasn't a slight to you. All right. We're gonna do it.
You did it.
We're gonna do it because we haven't.
Feats.
Yeah, I can't. Oh man, I don't know if I'm playing the right one or the wrong one. No, that's definitely the wrong
How
one.
can they be wrong?
Well, because like one of them's like a full-on fucking like rock opera. I want to say. I think.
you were busy. That's why your
I did
were
it.
flying by.
I did a lot more than I thought. What the fuck is wrong with me? What am I?
Sorry, Nari.
Did it play right for you?
It did.
Okay. Yeah, on my screen it like skips around when I do it sometimes. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna play us off with the song, and then we'll see you guys on Monday for the normal time. Thanks everyone for the support, and we're at the home stretch. It's gonna be fun.
Show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.